time to give the people what they want. It's Jalen and Jacoby.
It's Friday, and he is Jalen Rose.
What up, though?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in,
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
we get a people.
Yes.
What they want.
The people wanted you to take off the do-rag. Jalen Rose is a former NHL player, gentleman by the name of Yuri Hoodler. He was on a flight from New York City to Prague. It was on Delta. They brought the kitchen cart around and asked Yuri if he wanted anything. And he said, yes, I would like some Coke. And then they came and brought him a Coca-Cola, and he said, no, I meant cocaine. These are according to reports. And that's not it, Mr. Rose. As the flight continued, he told the flight attendant that he did not mean Coca-Cola, he meant cocaine. Then he threatened to have the flight attendant killed by friends of his in Prague. And then flight crew is accusing him of actually using cocaine in the bathroom. And then after he used the bathroom, he attempted to urinate in the kitchen cart, but was stopped by the flight attendant. And then he denied all these accusations and called the whole thing a small incident. He's now a free agent, Mr. Rose. Do you think he's going to get picked up this offseason?
I don't think he's going to get picked up, especially by my Detroit Red Wings, who he used to play for. Mm-hmm. And how about this? In 2015, he won the Lady Byng Trophy in the NHL
Sportsmanship
for
Award.
sportsmanship and behavior.
It's a good sport. I don't know what he was trying to get out of that. It would have. Let's just move on. I'm freaked out by the whole thing.
Number one, he clearly was impaired. How about that?
Yes, he was definitely impaired.
And make quality decisions when that happens.
No, he did not make quality decisions at all.
And I love Delta. I mean, not only I'm a platinum member, but I'm diamond medallion.
Well, be careful when you're on the plane. Cam Newton disrespected a female writer and pretty much all females earlier this week in a well-covered press conference. He didn't apologize immediately to the beat writer that he disrespected afterwards, but now, after the backlash and losing some sponsors, he has. Let's listen.
After careful thought, I understand that my word choice was extremely degrading and disrespectful to women. And to be honest, that was not my intentions. And if you are a person who took offense to what I said, I sincerely apologize to you.
I thought it was a pretty good apology. You know what I mean? It was well-spoken. It was one take. It looked intimate. Like I liked the apology. He said all of the right things. But my question for you is, moving forward, do you think this will change the way that women now view Cam Newton and men?
He's a young man. We make foolish decisions via action or circumstance at that age. He apologized. He atoned for it. It doesn't mean that he doesn't still feel that way. Mm-hmm. So we don't truly know if his apology was one, as you mentioned, because he faced backlash and lost sponsors, or he truly felt remorse because he had an opportunity to apologize to the lady initially right afterwards, and he did not do so, who, by the way, I've looked online, and I've seen a couple of tweets. Now people are looking back at some of the things that she's put out there in the atmosphere. Racist tweets, negative overtones, and things of that nature, which prove that all of us are flawed individuals. You can look into his apology. You can say, oh, to the people that I offended, which means maybe I didn't offend everyone. But either way it goes, the bottom line is I'm pretty sure that he's remorseful for what he said, feels some sense of regret. I do think that female reporters may look at him and or try to cover him based on that situation, but I don't think a grudge is going to be held on either side.
Well, let's move on, because when I saw this news, I had one of those I need to talk to Jalen Rose about this moment. Adam Silver was talking with USA Today, and they were talking about the length of the season and just different things about the league. And here's what Adam Silver had to say, quote, "There's nothing magical about 80 teams. It's been in place for 50 years, but for the long-term planning of the league, as we learn more about the human body and wear and tear of travel, competitive landscape, invariably we'll look at the regular season. And in the regular season, it may create more opportunities for international franchises." So let's just start with the length of the regular season. We always say on this show, follow the money. If you shorten the regular season from 82 games down games, you then lose millions of dollars in revenue. Do you think they would shorten the season that would cost them tens of millions of dollars at least?
In theory, you don't have to lose tens of millions of dollars because when you're the NBA, you create different revenue sources. For example, you see the logos that are now being represented on jerseys that teams are able to auction off to the highest bidder. And you mentioned international games. So therefore, when you're playing those games, you can sign lucrative deals via the country and or many networks to allow that to take place, which can balance the books in those scenarios. It sounds like to me, in a perfect world, what he's talking about is trimming the season maybe, I'll say five or six games.
Okay.
And here's what you get at that point. You can still play your division foes 4 times, individuals in your conference 3 times, and then the individuals from other conferences still play twice like that currently takes place. I think that gets you to a place where it balances it for everyone, but I don't think they're going to do it when they understand that millions of dollars could be lost. That's why I think my theory would be in play before it actually took place.
I know you have Adam Silver on the text. I know he calls you before he makes any changes to rules or the league or anything. I know you guys just talk a lot.
And he watches this program every night.
Every night he watches the program. If he can't make it, he just DVRs it and then just watches it the next morning. We know this for a fact. He texts us all the time. If he texted you and said, what should I do with the regular season, what would you suggest?
I would tell the commissioner what I just implied. That was basically something that creates a sense of balance if league owners want to continue to value divisions, if they want to continue to value conference games and keep that balance even. And as we acknowledged on our program, instead of going to a 1 through 16 playoff format, which we've screamed for years, if it's going to take 20 votes to do that, and the balance of power is in the West, which means all of the East individuals won't vote to do it, and you can't get it that way, I think trimming the season 5 or 6 games kind of finds a happy medium for everyone.
Coming up next, O.J. Simpson continues to make terrible decisions now that he's been released from jail.
Orenthal.
Mr. Simpson, come on, O.J. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, we need to discuss this story. A gentleman by the name of Bryant Johnson was in Wyoming, and he was a little intoxicated. And what he was explaining to the people that were speaking with him was that he was sent from the future, from the year 2048. He was sent back in time by aliens. And the way the aliens sent him back in time was to fill him with alcohol. He told officers that aliens were coming next year and he needed to make sure that everyone leave as fast as possible. Mr. Johnson also refused to speak with nurses and doctors, and instead, he insisted on speaking to the president of the town. The weirdest part about all of this is after he was charged with public intoxication, he blew a .13 blood alcohol level. Not that much over the legal limit. Are you as concerned as me that he might have a legitimate claim that he really is from the future and aliens are coming next year?
Not at all. Or he's a lightweight, to your point. How about this? First and foremost, if you're going to ask for the president, you're going to ask for the president of the United States.
Yeah, he asked for the president of the town, which I like. Another thing is, I want to hang out with these aliens. I want these aliens that are going to fill me up with alcohol and try to send me back in time. That'd be so much fun. These aliens sound like a really good hang. I hope Mr. Johnson figures that all out.
You're the person that believes that people on other planets are currently watching this program, when I'm the person that believes it only happens here.
If there are life on other planets, they're definitely watching Jalen and Jacoby. Orenthal.
Juice.
Mr. Simpson. OJ, what are you doing? What are you doing, OJ? You just got out of jail. You're signing memorabilia in hotel rooms, and now he's at a Las Vegas country club.
Picked up in white trucks.
And he was overheard at the Las Vegas country club setting up a fake paparazzi shoot for himself, which he has done before. Those of you that have watched the ESPN documentary know that. And then, while he was shooting the fake paparazzi video that he set up, TMZ caught him shooting the fake paparazzi with real paparazzi. Jalen Rose, we're about 2 days in, 4 days in, whatever, and I'm already very concerned about the future for O.J. Simpson, and that there will be updates like this almost every single day. Do you have any advice for O.J.?
Get on an airplane and fly as far from the United States of America as possible.
There's a lot of other places where they won't recognize you. You can just sit on a beach. You can just lay low, man. OJ, lay low. Here's the thing. If you're in America to make money, guess what? You owe $100 million to the Goldman family. So, like, just
and also,
lay
you can
low.
sign memorabilia from anywhere.
You shouldn't be signing memorabilia. You shouldn't be setting up paparazzi. You shouldn't be getting caught setting up fake paparazzis. You should just lay low. OJ, go away. Come back later. Moving on. Jalen, will you take us behind the curtain? LeBron James was at practice
The king.
at the Cleveland practice facility, and there was a very interesting intrusion. When you look at this footage, you will see LeBron James pointing out the fact that the Keeping Up with the Kardashians camera crew is in the Cleveland practice facility. Jalen Rose, you played on an NBA basketball team. I'm sorry, you played on 7,000 NBA basketball teams. You've been in the locker room. You've been in the practice facility. Take us behind the curtain. What do his teammates think about this?
And he wasn't saying the champions here like Muhammad Ali.
No, he was not.
For those that didn't hear behind the beat, a couple of things are at play here. LeBron James, an iconic basketball player, is really serious about his craft and obviously loves his teammates. We've seen footage of him this summer embracing Tristan Thompson's mate.
Yep.
Having a really good time, Chloe, when they were out at Universal Studios.
They're in love. They're going to be
That's
parents.
one
Good for
side of
them.
it. And congratulations on Tristan and Chloe. They're supposed to be expecting. With that being said, then there's the flip side of LeBron where we ain't in Cali anymore.
This is work. This is the workplace.
I'm back in Cleveland now. I'm back in my facilities where we get it in. And we're trying to get ready to win a basketball championship, hopefully. We added D-Wade. We added Derrick Rose. We traded Kyrie Irving. We added Jay Crowder. And you know what else we did? We took you out of the starting lineup, Tristan.
Sure did, Tristan.
And you know what else would really be helpful right now? If these cameras weren't around.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the fact that LeBron was so blunt, but here's the facts behind that. A team is so insulated like a family. And so when you make these comments, you don't come back from them. There's no taking this back. So I'm pretty sure as moguls, as a brand that the Kardashians have established themselves as, they clearly not gonna like hearing that he said this. And you tell me, you bring me behind the curtain. How does Tristan handle the fact that his wifey ain't gonna want to kick it with him no more because he showed his true colors? What do you think about that?
So
keeping home happy.
Keeping home happy is obviously number one. But here's the thing, what happened with this is I'm shocked that they were even allowed in the building. I'm shocked on behalf of the Cleveland Cavaliers press staff and all of those. Like, there was someone that gave them credentials, that gave them the address, that told them the time to show up, that allowed them to film this here and then. And I almost blame not just Tristan, but also the people in the front office at the Cavs and the public relations departments that they allowed this filming to happen at the practice facility. I'm shocked. And here's the thing, I just do the way to keep the real answer to your question, just do whatever your girl says. That's what you do. That's what you do. Do whatever your girl says, okay? That's always the answer. Your girl is right and you are wrong.
That's clearly what TT did in this case.
You know that someone asked Tristan Thompson, like, can you get us credentials to shoot at the practice facility? He was like, oh my God, I think I have to actually do this. I can't believe I'm writing this email.
Mine. Just come walk in.
Exactly.
Just take mine.
Just
Don't say nothing to nobody.
Put the cameras in the backs.
Put
the cameras in the backs. Put the cameras in the backs.
No question.
There's another
item. You
item.
don't think LeBron knew about that previous? You think he was surprised?
You think he was surprised?
Yeah,
something tells me not too much surprises LeBron at the Cleveland practice facility. Something tells me word would get around before it happened. Something tells me he premeditated this sort of hazing on social media. Very quickly, one more thing.
Do you think he knew that was going to? Do you think he knew that was going to be out for public consumption that he responded that way.
Of course he knew that. Jalen Rose, very quickly, I need you to take us behind the curtain on one more thing. Greg Popovich and LaMarcus Aldridge have gotten together, and they've ironed out all of their problems. They had a one-on-one, a tete-a-tete, a little conversation. Take us behind the curtains. What really happened in that conversation?
Oh, I really know how these conversations go. Hey, you tell the assistant coaches, hey, when LA get here, just tell them to come to my office. I want to chat with them for a minute. Because you got to get that emotional walk of mental anguish before you get to the principal's office. So LA's walking there like, oh, here we go. It's the opposite of the walk of shame. So it's like, oh. So you get to the office, hey, what up, big fella? You give a dap or whatever. You sit down, how's the family? You know, how's the kids? Everything going well? He's like, all right, big fella, you heard the news about Kawhi. You know, he's not going to be playing in the preseason. He's going to be limited this year. You know Tony and Manu's gotten older. If you haven't realized, this is Tim's second year without the squad. And you're the only other guy besides those guys that's been to an all-star game a handful of times, that's making the top elite dollar because we saw how you played in Portland. I just going to write a number on the board, 20. Not points, shots. That's how many I want you to take each game. Don't come to this locker room if you're not aggressive and you don't get up that many attempts. I don't care about the percentages. I don't care about the media. I don't care about your teammates or the fans. You worry about what I have to say, because what you did last year in the playoffs versus the Golden State Warriors, I was so disappointed I had to call you out in the media. I don't want to have to do that again. You clear? Clear. You want to shoot, right? Yeah. I want to shoot. I want to shoot. All right, cool. I'll see you out of practice.
When we come back, my favorite segment of the week, the last one. That's next on Jalen Jacoby.
Such a slacker.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Jalen, it's time for what we learned. My favorite segment of the week, where we go back at all of the shows that we did this week and we just summarize it all with the little lessons that we learned. Are you ready, Mr. Rose?
I like that cardigan that I'm rocking. Wait, you're wearing the same thing.
Okay. Let's move on. Dwayne Wade's wine might not be that good. That's one thing we learned. Dwayne Wade gave wine out to all of his teammates, and they all tried it, and Kevin Love posted it on social media, and they didn't seem to get the best reviews.
D-Wade, holla at your boy. Send me a case of that. But I'm still not getting on a banana boat.
Okay. Another thing we learned. Derek Jeter has very clean hands. The Marlins posted this picture of Derek Jeter in his new office. He's got 2 iPads for some reason, which is a weird way to set up an office. And he's got a gigantic hand sanitizer dispenser facing out. Why is that in his office?
Boss move. The same reason why when you walk in the bathroom, you should wash your hands before you use the bathroom, not the other way around. I bet Derek Jeter does.
Another thing we learned. Alex Morgan does not respect the happiest place on earth. If you don't know, Alex Morgan and some other professional soccer players went to Disney World, and they were kicked out of Disney World for being extremely intoxicated. At one point, she tried to name drop that she knew the Orlando SWAT team. They were trying to do something called Around the World, where you have one drink in all the different countries in the Epcot world, which is 11 different countries, which is 11 different drinks at Disney World. It did not go well for Ms. Morgan. Your thoughts, Mr. Rose?
Yeah, it didn't go well. When you see a group of adults and it's more of them than there are children under 12, that's going to end bad.
Another thing we learned, every single thing that Magic Johnson does looks cool. He was at a preseason game, sitting courtside, and he said hello to Scottie Pippen in the coolest way I've ever seen. He did like a duck down, like ping pong swing into the handshake, into the dap, into the hug, and then transitioned at the end to like the standard business guy handshake. It was 17 handshakes all at once. It looked so smooth. It looked like him and Scottie have been choreographing it for weeks, but you know that they didn't. I just think Magic Johnson is a special human being, and we should cherish him.
No question, the Hall of Fame mogul. It was great to see Scottie and his lovely wife courtside.
What handshake does he give you when you see him? How come you never give me one of those handshakes? Is it cultural?
Because we do a...
Next, we learned Tommy Heinsohn will look at you in the shower. I don't even want to explain this. Let's just listen to what Tommy Heinsohn. What is happening, Tommy Heinsohn? Why do you fix your lips and say into a microphone, I was looking at him in the shower? Like, why? Why is that happening?
And the water probably was cold. You know, Tommy, holla at your boy. You want to see what Detroit look like? Holla at your boy.
Oh, Jalen, I love this
East side,
show.
west side,
I love this
southwest
show.
Detroit.
Another thing we learned, Mad
The
Dog
Upper
2020.
Peninsula.
Upper Peninsula. Mad Dog 2020 wins championships. The Minnesota Lynx won the WNBA championship. I can't even hold it together when you said Upper Peninsula. Here's what we
Don't
learned.
let me get on no Mad Dog and no Wild Irish Rolls.
We got
or
the
no
Mad
Bull
Dog.
Farm.
This show is officially falling apart. It's Friday. We got the Mad Dog. So do the Lynx. Enjoy the Upper Peninsula.
Hey, you get some of that, you don't need no Viagra.